I don't know what's... Yeah, I know. The Discord decided it was working fine up until I hit start. So please hold, y'all. Hold on.
By the way, you're sure we're not muted, right?
I'm 100% certain. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're not muted.
Yeah. For some reason, Discord has decided it shows me. Oh, it showed Ash for a brief moment. Like it pops up every time I look at properties, and then when I say okay, I'm
gotta love it.
Try this. Wow, it's just making Windows. OBS and Discord are not friends today.
Just
so you know.
Yeah, that is...
Unfortunately, we're having some camera issues.
Oh, no.
I don't know why, because it shows up, and then it disappears as soon as I, do something. I'm going to try something drastic here. Hold on. Hey, just switching scenes worked. I don't know why that worked. It shouldn't have worked. But welcome to the world of running streams. It's hell here.
Yeah. Well, hell for the two of us, but for Derrick over here, he's good.
He is.
I'm very good right now.
Yeah.
I am. Apologies for the echo because bathroom and all there, but
right.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm
all right.
Off in the tropics.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and do my own bespoke intro so we can, do our whole audio version later and have a good cutoff point. So this is what you guys pay for. You get the behind the scenes.
Ash is echoing something fierce. Ash is echoing pretty badly right now.
I'm echoing. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't hear it on my end, but apparently the chat is.
Is that for just Ash, or is that for everybody speaking? Ash
Apparently
and Derrick have double
has...
audio. Okay, I think I know what's going on here.
Oh.
Okay, so for today, we will just do this. Hold on. So we set up like a virtual audio interface to because y'all like stuff to be adjusted at various different levels depending on what it is. So I tried an experiment, and apparently instead of doing what I expected it to do, it did precisely. Oh my god, motherfuck! Hold on. It is not playing you guys at all. I guarantee it, or at least I think it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not. Fucking Discord. Fucking OBS, fucking Discord. It's fine. I got it sorted out. This has happened so many times now that it's just like starting a car that doesn't work very well. I know exactly what's wrong and exactly how to fix it. There you go. There's some audio.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
How are we sounding now, chat?
I mean, the Cobra says Derrick's in the high seas. They expected audio issues.
True.
There we go. All right. So what do we say we get a proper introduction?
Real quick though, before we start, Tyler Hardy, thank you very much for the $1.99 donation. Says Resi 8 baby flashbacks. Resi Evil.
I love it.
Wow.
Oh god, I've seen that. I haven't played the game, but I've seen the monster we're talking. Ugh, it's so messed up. Okay. Anyway, though, intro time. Here we go. Hello and welcome everybody to today's News Tonight, episode 96. We're just 4 away from episode 100. This is, of course, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. As always, I'm your host, Ash Paulson, and I am joined today by my wonderful friend and co-founder, Steve Bowling, as well as Derrick over here, Derrick Dripner in his bathtub. It is Derrick Dripner Wednesday. Officially, it's become a hashtag, and yeah, and he's wearing his Good Vibes Gaming t-shirt. I love it. Derrick, how's it going over there in bathtub land, man?
I'm good. I think I got the water just right. Not too hot, not too cold, so I'm not dealing with you guys' issues, at least as of right now. Not sure if it's going to get cold as we go along, but feeling good. Got my hat. We're off on the high seas. Got this nice tropical background that Amy has set up for hers. I have Complete the Image by Seagrams.
I love it. Dude, your setup is by far the most elaborate of all of us.
Hold on. I got Amy's whole setup here.
Take off the lid.
Be our guest.
Nice.
With Belle.
With Belle.
That's too good.
There we go. I was about to say, fill that shit with booze right now.
Yeah, booze after the Be Our Guest. That's great.
Okay, now you can pour it in.
There we
Now I can pour it in.
Just pour it straight down your gullet, bro. Do it.
Yeah,
there we go.
Oh, so good.
He's too fancy for that. I would have drank straight out of the goddamn kettle.
I want to be circa 60 grams. Nice. I want to be your guest. I want to be served Seagrams in a bathtub, man. Damn.
Even better.
You by far officially have the fanciest bath setup of all of us, by the way. I just want to make that clear.
Could also break out these little gems that I got years ago from a friend. The Legend of Sudza.
Wow.
What is going on?
Ocarina of Grime.
You're welcome.
I was going to get rid of these because I never used them, but Amy wanted to display them, so we kept a hold of them.
Amazing.
And then Super Mario Brothers 3.
Man.
I love it. And of course he's holding soap. This is amazing.
They're still
This is what your $69 donation and $69.69 donations have gotten you, everybody, is Derrick in this wonderful hat in a bathtub with mock soap grime-related game cartridges. I love it. And also, as Cloud and Collected points out in our live audience chat, this is episode 96 on 6/9. And it's Derrick Dripner Wednesday. So it's like the planets are aligning. It's a confluence of various factors just telling us that this day was prophesied, man. This was meant to be. Everything was meant to converge on this one day.
And if I want, I got bug bites. Well, graham crackers.
Nice.
Blitz Wolfer in the chat. My wet Wednesday was 2 weeks
There's
ago.
also bath salt, Epsom salt, and bath bombs in the back.
If I want
Nice.
to get real fancy, I do have a bath bomb.
Ooh.
Definitely heard bath bong at first. I'm like, is a bath bong different from a regular bong? I'm confused. Be careful with those bath bombs, though, man. I mean, obviously, I'm sure whatever Amy has is way better than the cheap Frozen 2 Glacier Grape shit I used last week. But man, that was awful, and it smelled so bad. But yes, Steve's bathtub stream was 2 Wednesdays ago. But if you ask me, every Wednesday is Wet Wednesday for Steve. Just personally speaking.
obviously.
I don't know. Yeah, obviously. Oh man, new Super Ditto Brothers M in the chat and the live audience chat says Bath Bongo the Danimal's monkey. That's never gonna die. Ever gonna die. I love it. But yes, of course. So we've got Derrick, of course, in our tub today for our bathtub stream. But we do, even though it is Derrick Dripner Wednesday, we do have a lot of news to get through. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get
before that, we did get some more super chats.
Oh, I was going to grab that between the first and second story since we had been going for a while, but
Oh,
that's
no,
okay.
I figured grab it now while it's still somewhat relevant.
Fair enough. Then we have a $4.99 donation from Claxon saying, so the tech issues weren't to build suspense for Dripner. I thought it was scripted given to the 6-9. No, they definitely were not. And thank you so much for the donation. Not scripted. You know, tech issues, that's just how we roll at GVG. But, you know, we're slowly ironing them out, and it's all good. Thank you so much. We also have a $2 donation from Jaden Buck saying, also, you guys went live at 6:09 in my time zone. That's some creepy shit, man. That's like some Illuminati stuff. I don't even know how that worked out, but thank you for letting us know that, and thank you so much for the donation. And finally, we have a £2 donation from Alan Wilkinson saying, Derrick's hat wins the Bath Wars. Well, you know what? I almost agree with that, but I am partial to my summer hat. My summer hat
is
special,
quite good.
man. Yeah, I do really like my summer hat. I'm gonna have to bring that back for a future stream.
I'm all about the heart-shaped sunglasses. I know Ash, you rocked them too, but
Oh, you definitely have the best eyewear.
yeah.
Those are great. The R-shaped sunglasses.
Not a super chat, but I want to point out this comment because we're not going to talk about it during the episode. PSO2 NGS did come out today, Fraud Howard. I played a shit ton of it. I will be streaming it exclusively on our patron Discord tomorrow night. TBD. So I'll let you know exactly what time that is. Just stay tuned to Twitter, but it'll be Discord only. So if you're in our Patreon at any level, you can come check it out. I'm just going to play with some community members, but so far, liking it a lot. I'll have more to say on that later, though.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if some, you know, if Mega Man X9 had come out today, I would have a little time to hype about it. So, Steve, let's get a little more from you about how hype you are that PSO2 is out, because you mentioned that you wanted to talk about this, and I want to make sure you get a proper chance to hype it up.
Real quick, we also got a $5 donation from Hoobie. Says, I was getting so much anxiety seeing those games sitting on the tray back there. Glad they're not real. This is great. Keep it up.
Yeah, that
Nice.
actually did surprise me. I'm like, man, Derrick's keeping with the games, like even in the bathtub. So good on you, because I thought those were real for a while, but
No, I would definitely not do that. Oh,
Yes.
you'll like this one, Ash. 112 donated $2.69. Happy Rockman Day. 6-9 is pronounced Raku in Japan.
Right, Roku. Yeah, very cool.
Nice.
Thank you so much, 112.
Yeah, $2.69 donation. That's nice.
Perfect.
So no, PSO2, I've played it. So it was originally supposed to launch at 1 a.m. today, and I thought about staying up, but my old man bones were like, nope, you're going to bed. And I was out by like 9. And I was like, oh, I'll just wake up early and I'll play it, because I got kids. They wake me up early anyway. Yeah. So 5:30 rolled around, and I dealt with the kids real quick, and I was like, okay, let me go see if PSO2's up. And it wasn't, and it didn't come up till about 9:30 a.m. Pacific, so like 8.5 hours late. And I got in, and you guys, it's so goddamn good. It is awesome. Ridiculous. Like, that's awesome. The level cap is 20, and I'm already at 10. Like, oh boy, I've been playing a lot of this game today, and I'm really excited to play with the community. And I'm on ship 2, in case you join. It's free to play, and you can create a character on every ship or server if you want. But I'm specifically on ship 2, and you can't move your characters between them without paying. So if you want to play with me, that's where you need to be. However, it feels like since the original PSO2 came out 8 years ago, they looked at Xenoblade and Breath of the Wild, and they're like, we really like these, and we should mash these up into Phantasy Star. And it works so damn well. Like, visually, it is very reminiscent of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Interesting, okay.
But in terms of what you do within the game and mechanically, it feels a lot more like Breath of the Wild. And it's this really interesting fusion of the two concepts that I really enjoy. Yep, can't wait to play more. I'm going to play probably as soon as the show's over.
Very cool. Well, but I take your opinion over pretty much anyone's when it comes to Phantasy Star Online, man. I know you're the hardest core fan of the hardcore when it comes to Phantasy Star Online. So I'm just happy to hear that you're happy with it, because I know this has been a long time coming for you.
Oh yeah, this is essentially PSO3, and I'm really, really excited to be able to play it. I mean, we got other games to play. I'm going to be working my way through. I'm allowed to say it. I'm going to be working my way through Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Intermission, which all of us got. Thank you, Square Enix, for providing all of us with copies.
That was very cool. I have it installed. I have not had a chance to play it because I am was still working on my Ratchet Clank review. Unfortunately, I also did the other thing. Was like, I'll just stay up late because I have only have so much time to get things done. So I'll stay up late and play through a bunch of Ratchet Clank. And that was a bad idea because I only got about 3 hours of sleep that I was trying to go on, and then I got sick hard. Oh, I was exhausted.
That's what you're saying. I'm glad you're feeling better, man.
I only just recovered about noon today, so it took me about 24 hours to recover. So I was like, well, that lost me a lot of time. But right before the show, I did beat Ratchet Clank Rift Apart.
Yes!
I will be working to have that review ready for launch day on Friday. So.
Well, I have
jumped right into Final Fantasy Intergrade.
I cannot wait to talk about Ratchet and Clank with you. For those of you that don't know, I have also played and finished Ratchet and Clank. Yes, I'm not reviewing it, and I haven't talked to Derrick about his opinion on it at all yet, but it is fucking stellar. It is like, I am waiting to gush about this game. So when
we apparently have a code coming in for me to use, I guess, on launch day. And then, my aim is to hopefully we are. Either way, my aim is to have it finished myself by the time we get together to discuss it, because I'm hyped about this game as well. And I'm actually just wrapping up a playthrough of Ratchet 2016, so I have something recent to compare to. Even though I know, of course, fan opinions of Ratchet 2016 aren't exactly positive. So. I'm just, nice to have a little touchstone to compare to.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to address this one last thing just before we jump in. I know there's a lot of shit going on, but Arcadian PNG in the YouTube live audience chat says, do you guys believe the Matoy for Smash from Phantasy Star Online leak? I haven't heard of that leak, and also hell,
I haven't either.
I just don't buy that in a million years. And the reason why is Matoy is an incredibly popular character, but really only in Japan. And PSO is only kind of sorta on the Switch. It's like a cloud version that, Sega didn't put a ton of effort into getting PSO on the Switch. Like, there's a Breath of the Wild Link outfit, but there's really, I just don't see that PSO having enough of an audience on Nintendo platforms for it to make sense for Matoy to come to the Switch version, especially when Sega seems uninterested in delivering a native port of the game. I mean, they ported it to Vita, so they could have put it on the Switch if they really wanted to, but they're like, that seems really hard. Let them have a cloud version. I'm sure it works great in Japan. It works like shit over here. And I think 99% of people in America have no clue who Matoi even is.
Yeah, I thought for a second you were referring to Ryuko Matoi from Kill la Kill, and I'm like, what the? No, why would that she be coming soon? But then I still don't think a PSO character is coming. That would be cool, but yeah, I don't think any PSO characters are coming to Smash. And like Steve said, I hadn't even heard about that rumor. So, yeah, but well, we have had a lot to chat about prior to the news, but let's go ahead and dive into that news. And I don't really have a segue for this one, so let's just get that up on screen. And Overwatch players, get hype, because you are officially finally getting cross-platform play across PC and consoles. So this is every platform: PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. All the versions of Overwatch are going to be cross-play compatible. And Blizzard says the update is coming, quote unquote, soon. So we don't have a date yet. And this is going to be a beta rollout. So it's not going to be the finalized release of crossplay, but it is going to be an open beta. And this is great. You know, crossplay is always good wherever we can get it, bringing more people together, bringing people from different audiences together. I don't play Overwatch myself. I played it a couple of times, found it to be way too toxic for my noob self. I'm horrible at it, and people didn't like that, so not my thing. But I'm happy for the existing Overwatch audience that they're going to have crossplay and have people from different audiences play together. Do either of you play Overwatch? I don't think so.
No.
Right?
I played it when it first came out for a little bit, and I enjoyed it. I ended up being a Mercy player, but I didn't stick with it too long, just because my big problem with it was they had all these wonderful story trailers, these interesting characters, and then they do nothing with them.
Yep.
Yeah. The lore is legitimately so interesting, and you see that reflected in these trailers, like you said, Derek, but then there's just no tracer of that in the actual game itself. And yeah, I guess there has been some rumbling, at least, that Overwatch 2, whenever the hell that actually surfaces again, is going to maybe have a little bit more story content with
it'll have a story mode this time, which
right,
good.
Right.
They did the Titanfall thing where it went from no story in Titanfall 1 to a story mode in Titanfall 2. It's like, hey, people like these. Let's do this.
Right. Yeah.
Especially with such a character-based game.
Yeah, exactly. The character designs and just the characterization of the cast is so strong. It seems odd to not have that kind of story content to build them up in the game itself, but it seems to be something they're addressing for Overwatch 2. Just to go back to the crossplay thing for a second, if you are interested in this, you are an Overwatch player, Blizzard says that to jump into the crossplay beta, you will need to make a Battle.net account first if you haven't already. It has been a requirement for PC players so far, but it's been optional on console. You will then need to link your console account to Battle.net within your account settings. And yeah, so if you do want to take advantage of this whenever the update does drop, you'll need to do that first. And this comes by way of The Verge.com's news story. So yeah, go ahead and make those preparations if you are interested in playing Overwatch crossplay. But yeah, it's interesting that it took this long for it to come to Overwatch, considering how long the game's been out. But yeah, better late than never, I guess, right?
I mean, I guess the hope is that they'll integrate it here and it'll be all set to go for Overwatch 2 whenever that comes out.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking, is that this is kind of, one, a test for how crossplay will work in Overwatch, and two, a reminder that Overwatch is a thing that maybe more people should play. It's definitely not my thing. I struggle to understand the popularity of Overwatch. It's just, I look at this game and I'm like, why? Why do people want to play this? There's nothing in here that I find entertaining or of value. But everybody likes different shit.
For a while, but yeah, didn't hold my interest.
Yeah, I played it a few times, and like Ash said, man, the player base just sucked. I was like, there's no room to learn how to play this game, because everyone's pissed that you're not like esports level pro the minute you jump in.
The League of Legends effect.
Right.
Pretty much.
Speaking of learning to play, Cloud and Collected in our patron exclusive live audience chat says, if Ash, Derek, and Steve ever want professional coaching in time for Overwatch 2, I got you. And all I have to say to that, Cloud and Collected, is famous last words. You think we're not that bad. You think, we're probably suck, but we're not, you could still mold us into decent players. Nah, you have no idea just how awful I am at most shooters, but Overwatch, I guess, in particular. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to put you through that horrible experience of trying to make a decent player, Overwatch player out of me.
I'll co-sign on that. I'm terrible. I am beyond help.
Okay, but there's a reason I chose Mercy. I don't have to do crap. I just keep this person healed.
Yeah,
right,
that's fair.
right. Which, yeah, totally fair. Before we move on, though, we do have a super chat from Rubberman202 with a $5 donation saying, Derek Sailor Hat reminded me that today is Donald Duck Day. His debut cartoon was 87 years ago today. Wow. It's amazing how many different things are converging on this day. This is amazing. So Donald Duck, he's that guy from Kingdom Hearts, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
One
of the few square characters that can actually cast Zeta Flare.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, but thank you so much for the donation, Rubberman. That we really appreciate that. And that's so cool about Donald Duck Day being today, along with being Derrick Dripner Day and June 9th and episode 96 of TNT. This is wild.
We did have two more.
Two others.
So we had a drink to the past that said, did not expect Derek to have the swankiest tub. I did for some reason. I really did.
I did too, after he hyped it up. Yeah.
Amy, this is Amy's tub. This is actually the first time I've used it.
That's what we call community property, my friend. I take
exactly.
I take credit for every nice thing Ashley has put in my house.
Thank you so much, Drink to the Past, for that donation. And we also have a $5 Canadian donation from Bongo Lover, of course, Bongo Lover, saying, what Patreon level does Bongo have to be to get y'all in a bath with him? You know what? Bongo can be in the bath with us for at least for me. I don't want to speak for my co-founders, but he can be in the bath with me for free. All right? He doesn't need to donate.
He's in the bathtub in my heart.
Hey, I should have got Danimals. I just realized.
Oh, that would have been perfect.
You know what, though? Yeah. I will put it out there. If Bongo becomes a member of the EP squad, I'll go on eBay and find a Bongo plushie. And he'll be part of the show somehow. I'm not going to say in a bathtub, but if Bongo joins the EP squad, he'll find his way into the set. There has to be.
Do Bongo plushies exist? Like, what?
Do they? What kind of Bongo merch is there?
They couldn't.
Maybe.
Danimals, Bongo.
I'm seeing something that looks like it could be that. Well, there's Bongo Cat. I don't know what Bongo Cat is, but what?
I'm limited with how much I can search this setup, so I'm gonna have to leave it to you guys.
Plush doll figure. There is a Danimals monkey that is not necessarily Bongo, but it is a monkey, and it is a Danimals branded plushie. I think that counts.
I think it counts too. There really is. You will find anything on the internet. Really, I mean, that's just wild that there's even. Yeah. Amazing. Well, I did mention that Overwatch getting crossplay is better late than never, and this next news story has to do with a series that also kind of has a better late than never thing going on. So let's get that up on screen. So, if you, like the rest of us, are just waiting for Metroid Prime 4, anything on the Metroid front, don't have a new game for you, obviously, not yet, but there is a new 7-minute Metroid Attack of Ridley fan movie that has just been released, and I watched this yesterday, and you know what? It's not perfect, but it is pretty damn cool. It's a 7-minute short film by the YouTube channel Devon Supertamp, and Samus is played by Ainsley Bircher, and honestly, I was really impressed by a lot of the production values in this. Now, Derek, as our resident Metroid super fan, we all love Metroid, but you're like our Metroid super fan. Have you watched this yet?
I have not. I have not had any time yet. I think I was not feeling great, and
right.
I find it, I'll have to watch it because I'm a little familiar with Metroid movie scripts.
Right, exactly.
Just a little bit.
Certainly are. Just a little bit.
Just a little.
The main thing for me, and like I said, I was
just from looking at it.
Yeah, no, like as I said, in general, I watched it, and the production values are great. I mean, you can certainly tell here and there that it's a fan film. I think the thing that stood out to me most from a lore standpoint, in terms of something I think got wrong, and Derek, you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but Metroids are weak to the cold, and yet this whole thing takes place on an ice planet in ice caves, and Metroids are just flying around freely and just chilling and attacking Samus. That, I feel like, that shouldn't be their habitat, right? A cold environment?
Not really. I don't think that's
right.
a thing.
Usually the ice beam lets you mess Metroids up pretty bad in most games.
Exactly. Ice beam, 5 missiles, or ice beam and a super missile. And that is not reflected in this, but I also, I don't want to be that person who's like, that's the one thing they got wrong. Okay, maybe they got that wrong, but in general, this production is pretty cool.
I haven't seen the whole thing, but I will say, if you're going through the effort of making a Metroid fan film, that's kind of a bigger one to get wrong.
It is.
That's like making a Spider-Man movie and making Venom impervious to fire. Like it just doesn't make sense.
You're totally right. Yeah. It is a bit of a hole, a wide gaping hole in the lore. I just meant that, yes, it's good to point that out, but also I don't want to shit on this team's efforts either.
Oh God, no.
This is a really incredible production that they put together on a presumably a fan budget. So, hats off to the team for creating this. And yeah, even if it isn't perfect, I'm really impressed by what they put together here. And it'll, for me at least, it helps stave off the weight a little bit, just a little bit, for Metroid Prime 4, and hopefully a new 2D Metroid that maybe we're getting. Who knows? But that would be nice. But so, Steve, you said you watched a little bit of it.
Just like a few seconds, and it's pretty good. I like it. It definitely, it takes a lot of...
It's a cool proof of concept, I think,
yes,
is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about it. Obviously, they don't have like the money or the resources of even like a semi-pro fan film, but I mean, it's clear a lot of love went into the creation of this thing. It just makes me want like an official sanctioned Metroid movie all that much more. Just because I feel like Nintendo is sitting on a lot of great IPs that could transition to Hollywood very well. And I understand why they haven't done it, history being a guide for that, but it's time. Like, I hope that this Mario Illumination movie we're getting does well, and well enough for Nintendo to say, like, hey, let's finally get a Zelda movie or a Metroid movie out there. Hell, give me an animated Star Fox movie. Like, anything.
Animated Kid Icarus, something.
Give me a Smash Brothers anime.
That's what I always come down to, is a Smash anime. Just that Palutena's reveal trailer instantly just made the light bulb go off in my head that a Smash Brothers anime could be just an incredible thing to behold. But I'm not going to be holding my breath for that. And Metroid may or may not be at E3, but this next news story has to do with games we now know will definitely not be at E3.
Ooh.
So let's get that up on screen.
Well done.
Thank you. This comes from PureXbox.com, and that is that Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, and Hogwarts Legacy will all be no-shows at E3. None of them are going to be appearing, and we don't exactly know when we're going to see more from these games. I know, we've certainly talked about Hogwarts Legacy before and how none of us really want to see anything more from that game, given some of the stuff surrounding that. But it's a shame that we're not going to see Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They are all set to release in 2022, as a reminder, but we don't really know if we're going to see them highlighted later this year or not. I would imagine, though, that if they are coming out in 2022, we got to see something later this year.
Yeah, I feel like there's got to be room for these games to be shown later on. Hogwarts Legacy, I think, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that it's taking a break. I honestly forgot about Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. Gotham Knights, I could have sworn was out.
I mean, both of those only got animated, CG trailers, not gameplay trailers yet, as far as I can remember. So
I think Gotham Knights got gameplay. I thought it did.
Did it?
I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've seen that reveal trailer, so I could be wrong. But
the weird thing is that Gotham Knights looks like it takes place in the Batman Arkham universe, but it doesn't. Which feels weird.
They got a gameplay walkthrough, so they did show some early gameplay off for Gotham Knights. But to be like you said, Steve, Gotham Knights I had in the back of my mind, but I completely forgot that there is a Suicide Squad game coming, and it feels like, given how little we've heard about it, that it's probably still a long way off. They say 2022, but I'm kind of wondering if it's going to even make that.
Yeah, that's where I get a little confused by all this. I feel like there has to be something going on there.
Gameplay.
But yeah, I'd like to see some gameplay for any of these, but honestly, Hogwarts of all of them is probably the only one I have any real interest in, like in terms of just as a game. I'm not a big DC guy. Suicide Squad, the movie was awful.
It was so boring.
I've not watched it, but I am excited for the James Gunn not sequel,
Yes,
but
Right.
I do want to see his reboot. Guardians of the Galaxy movies are awesome, so hopefully he could pull some of that magic with DC's characters, because it's not like they're bad characters.
Such a large cast. There's a lot of these guys that are going to die. Just gotta wonder how.
Right. Well, I guess since we're on the subject, I have to ask. Quick aside: have either of you watched the first episode of Loki yet?
No,
not yet. I'm hoping
haven't
to
either,
later tonight, maybe.
I'm looking
but
forward to it. Okay,
I've heard good things. Everything I heard so far.
Ashley
I did see that.
Oh, go ahead.
Tara Strong is playing Miss Minute, like an animated character in that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice.
All I was gonna say is Ashley and I try to find time every night to watch at least one TV show before we go to bed, or a movie or something. We made our way through all 3 John Wicks recently. They're great.
Oh, John Wick is awesome. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Any man who goes on a homicidal rampage after someone kills his dog is A-okay in my book.
Oh, totally right. And I just read, I mentioned on Monday how my wife and I have been watching the Ip Man films. Donnie Yen is going to be joining Keanu Reeves in John Wick 4, and that's going to be awesome, guys.
I love how the Ip Man movies start off semi-biographical and just devolve into crazy shit. Like, the more you get it. Like, he fights Mike Tyson in one of them.
Right, I know, yeah. That's what we just watched, Ip Man 3. It's like, why is Mike Tyson in this? It's so weird. Yeah.
You stop caring after a while just because it's so fun.
Ip Man is the Fast and the Furious of Kung Fu movies. Is really what it comes down to. They're just like, this shit would be cool. Make it happen. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to watching Loki tonight, hopefully, after binging PSO for a while.
Back to Warner Brothers and potentially even Marvel. What do you think Warner Brothers is going to show if they're not have those 3 big games? Like, what else do they have? I mean, we have heard the rumors of like NetherRealm working on a Marvel game. Is that
right?
Like
NetherRealm has to have something ready to show at least, because they produce games at a fairly rapid clip, and Mortal Kombat 11 has been out the door for a couple of years now. Right. So I would say the time is right for them to show something, and Ed Boon has been teasing lots of different things on Twitter lately. He's been teasing a Marvel game. He's been teasing a remake of a previous Mortal Kombat game.
Didn't he also tease like a kaiju game as well?
Yes, he teased a kaiju fighting game.
Interest or something. Yeah. And, there was also, we reported on several episodes a few weeks ago, Injustice is getting an animated movie. Maybe we'll get like a sneak peek of that during E3.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, that's happening. I know there has been at least some chatter about Injustice 3 maybe eventually being a thing, and I think it probably will eventually be. Yeah. Do we think it's time for that to get a surprise reveal?
I mean, that's kind of what they've been doing, is going Mortal Kombat Injustice, Mortal Kombat Injustice, so it would fit the pattern.
Real quick, Autistic Weeb in the YouTube chat asks, is this live or a pre-recorded video? This is absolutely a pre-recorded video, and we just knew you would say that.
Yes, exactly. No, it's totally live with the switch to season 2 of TNT. We went live public for all, even though we did used to have pre-recorded VODs for public release, but we decided we want to do live public for all, and it's been working out for everyone, we think. So, yeah, but all right. Well, speaking of crazy shit, we were talking about Loki and stuff, and this next story, crazy shit indeed. Let's get that up on screen. So, remember the original Super Mario Kart? Well, a pro hacker has restored the official track editor Nintendo used to build Super Mario Kart's tracks. Now, of course, Steve, you are our resident tech guy, so I definitely am familiar with some of the stuff here, but I'm certainly going to be leaning on you to explain some of this stuff. But basically, a modder by the name of Mr. L314 discovered references to the track editor within the code for an early prototype of Super Mario Kart, which was released or leaked through the Nintendo Giga Leak that happened last year. And the leaked prototype revealed the code for Super Mario Kart's SFX DOS functionality. And essentially, Mr. L314 was able to restore this functionality and create his own custom repair for features that were missing from the leaked prototype. And this modder, furthermore, on top of that, the modder has told Video Games Chronicle, where this story comes from, that he plans to release the repaired 1991 prototype publicly in the coming weeks. So we're going to be able to actually use and experience the track editor that Nintendo originally utilized to build Super Mario Kart's tracks. Steve, I have to throw this over to you. How fucking cool is this, man?
This is insanely cool. This is wild.
Right?
There's kind of like a lot of mystery surrounding Nintendo and the processes they use to create games, right? Like a lot of people work in open source engines that everybody can kind of learn how to use, and Nintendo does a little bit more of that these days. But in the 8 and 16-bit days, hell, even into the 64, Nintendo used proprietary tech for all their games. And so to kind of get this look under the hood, so to speak, of Mario Kart, the original Super Mario Kart, is really crazy. Like, we get to see, I think a lot of people think about Nintendo's track design and we assume like, oh, they're drawn out on paper and then they, program that in somehow. And it's really interesting to see that there was literally a point and click editor for these things. And they could be like, oh, that turn is a little too sharp. Let's just tick, tick and move it up a bit or make it easier. Yeah. And that is insanely cool. But also leads me to wonder how the hell Nintendo didn't crank out a second Super Mario Kart on the SNES if they had such easy-to-use editing tools. Like, you would think that they'd be like, yeah, just release like 13 more tracks and let's charge another $50 for it. I mean, I would have bought it. Yeah.
Well, hey, maybe we can get DLC for the Super Nintendo Online version of Super Mario Kart.
They're like, now that you know how the sausage is made, fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing is that I wonder if Nintendo's going to try to halt this at all, because you know how protective they are of their proprietary stuff. And as I was reading through the article, he was able to get this program and find out how to sort of complete it because it was in the Giga Leak. And he's mentioned about trying to restore other track editors for later Mario Kart games that were also released in the Giga Leak. So it's one of those things where it's cool, but it's like, what is Nintendo going to do? Are they going to let him alone, or is this going to be a ninja?
I almost feel bad reporting on it because that of course just draws more attention to it, and I want this restored prototype to be released. I want people to be able to experience this and build their own tracks. I want to see custom tracks. I want to see what cool shit people are going to make. But the great, the great struggle, I guess, is that the more people talk about, the more people, I guess, cover it, the more attention it gets, and the likelier it is that Nintendo may DMCA it. At least so far, this isn't like the thing where that idiot ROM site runner, charged members a premium prescription to download ROMs and tried to fight Nintendo in court without a lawyer. I mean, this guy, Mr. L314, he's not selling this for a profit. This is going to be available for free. He's not looking to profit personally off of this. So that's a point in his favor, but that hasn't always stopped Nintendo either. So it's hard to know what's going to happen with this.
Yeah, I'm of the mind that the worst step this person has made so far is signaling their intent to release it. They should have just released it.
Just released it. Yeah.
Because now Nintendo has however long this person decides to drum up a cease and desist and get it to this person before they can put it out. And I'll be honest, I would lay good money that Nintendo is doing exactly that right now.
Yeah.
They're finding this person's info, which they absolutely will, and then they are going to, C&D the hell out of this guy and say, hey, if you release it, we'll just destroy your life with a lawsuit that you can never afford. Which is kind of shitty, but at the same time, these are illicit ROMs and prototypes that he's messing with. That was
leaked by things.
That's the thing. If it wasn't connected to the Giga Leak, that might be a little safer. But because it specifically came from a prototype that came from the Giga Leak, that could be the death knell for this. But I hope not. I'm crossing my fingers.
The weird thing is, though, and this is where I have a little bit of hope, is that Nintendo seems oddly hands-off with the data from this leak so far. Like,
they do.
You would think that they would have nuked this shit off the face of the internet as soon as they could. And yet it is still out there and people are still finding stuff from it. And I don't see a ton of activity, or at least not activity I'm aware of from Nintendo trying to shut this down, which is, again, really out of character for Nintendo.
Right.
But that being said, like, don't be surprised if this never comes to fruition, because if I were Nintendo, and I'm saying this as me, as a person who, the three of us run a business, if I found somebody hacked our mail server and stole videos we weren't ready to upload yet, right? I would definitely do whatever I could to make sure those videos were on our channel and not on other people's channels. And I feel like Nintendo is probably, it's in their best interest to not have this come out for whatever reason.
Maybe they think it's going to be like the Streisand effect. The more they try
Right. That's what I'm wondering. They think if they shine a light on it by suing these people, then they're just going to ruin
this whole army of like, oh, we got to preserve this because Nintendo's out to get it.
Right. It does nothing but generate bad PR for Nintendo, and doesn't necessarily, they're not going to make money off this. There's no way. So that would be the one thing that I could see as being like a chance that this will just be left alone. I'd give it 50-50 odds, but
yeah.
I mean,
and it's it's important to remember that like with Yu Narukami in our patron chat points out that when Nintendo shut down another Metroid 2 remake, they were making their own Metroid 2 remake in house. So there is that as well. It's not as though like Nintendo goes after every single fan project out there. They had as much as it sucked, they did have a reason to go after AM2R. And we later found out that it wasn't apparent at the time, but we later found out that they are working on their own remake. Yu Narukami does add, so if Nintendo DMCA's this, they may be working on a Mario Kart SNES remake. I'm not going to go that far. I don't think that's necessarily the case. As we have been saying, there are other reasons for Nintendo to go after this. But that is a point, in this project's favor. It's very unlikely that Nintendo is doing anything with Super Mario Kart. So, there is that part of a vested interest kind of thrown out the window in taking this thing down. So let's hope it doesn't it doesn't get taken down, because I really want to see some crazy, wacky custom tracks in Super Mario Kart. I think the potential here for really cool stuff is just, off the rails.
I'm sure people can come up with some amazing things.
Oh, yeah. I would love to see fan patches for Mario Kart with just all new courses designed using the official tool set. That would be incredible.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, before we move on to the next news story, we have four super chats, actually. Now, Alex, I want you to know that I know yours came in first, but I'm going to read yours last because it serves as a perfect segue to the next story. So thank you for understanding, but I will get to it. First, we have $5 donation from Black Ninja saying, "Hey, all, just joined. Excuse this if it was already said, but let's take a moment to appreciate Derrick's bass setup. And he still got his games there. It has been talked about, but it can't be talked about enough. Derrick killed it with this.
These aren't actually games; they're soap. Super Mother.
I mean, it's even better.
It's better to be.
It really is even better.
Yeah.
And the Legend of Sudza, Ocarina of Grime.
I love that. I love how it's definitely seen some armpit use or something at some point.
No, they stayed in a bag ever since I got them, and I have not used them because it's like, well, I don't want to use them because I don't want to go away.
It's funny, when you said the Legend of, my mind immediately filled it with Groose, our patron, the Legend of Groose, because I'm so used to saying it. Groose, you have officially supplanted the Legend of Zelda now in my mind. I just hear Groose when I hear the Legend of. But also, shout outs to Amy, Derrick's girlfriend Amy, for, as Steve and I said, we know she's like responsible for 75% of this whole setup. She is. Yeah, so shout outs to Amy for making this happen. Yes, which is awesome. Black Ninja, thank you so much for the donation. Next, we have Scuff196 with a $2 donation. Thank you so much, saying, "Derrick, can we get some splash sounds?" Nice.
I don't know why that was as humorous as it was, but it just is.
It was. I love it.
There you go.
That is the
there is water in here.
There's actually water in there.
For those of you just joining, that teapot has booze in it, which
yes.
My heart.
Teapots provided by Amy. We filled it with Seagram's Jamaican Be Happy, and
that's even better. That's perfect.
Got it.
Jamaican Me Happy. Oh,
that's a whole ass vibe. I love it.
Yep. Thank you so much, Scuff 196 for the donation. Next, we have $4.99 for Mighty Invincible, saying, "It is Wednesday, my dudes." And my dude, you are correct, but it isn't just Wednesday. It is Derrick Dripner Wednesday. And so it is a special Wednesday indeed.
June 9th. Nice.
Yes, on June 9th, which is perfect because it was a $69 donation or several $69 donations that got us here to these bathtub streams. So thank you very much for the donation, Mighty Invincible. And finally, Alex Martinez with a $5 donation.
Whoa.
Oh, did anyone come in?
You missed a big one.
Oh, wait. Oh, it just came in. I'm reloading now. My bad. Oh, my God. Darchie. Darchie with a $100 donation saying, love you all. Well, we love you too.
Love you back.
Seriously.
Thank you. Yeah, we love you back, man. Thank you so much for your incredibly generous donation. Wow. I'm completely humbled. And if this is what Derek streaming from the bathtub gets us, then, man, there are more bathtub streams in our future, I guess. Yeah. Or maybe it's just the hat. It could be the hat.
Could be that.
Yeah. Darchie, thank you so much for that incredibly generous donation.
I thought about putting my wig from like
the Ichiban wig.
It'd be really hard to get that on here as well, but I want to say that.
Really want one of those Ichiban wigs. I know they were only part of the the PR mailing campaign for Yakuza 7, but God, I want one of those. All right. Finally, we have a $5 U.S. donation from Alex Martinez asking, do you guys think Bandai Namco will release information about Digimon Survive? And is this the first time y'all are hearing about it? Personally speaking, yes. I don't think I may have heard of Digimon Survive before this, but if I did, it was in passing because I don't remember anything about it. So this might as well be my first time hearing about it. What about you guys?
I don't follow Digimon too much. It sounds familiar, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, Digimon has never really been my thing. I've heard of the game, but that's because I have a couple friends that are really into Digimon games. I've been told that Digimon games are surprisingly really good. I just haven't.
Cyber Sleuth games are excellent.
I've been told that too.
Very reminiscent of Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Man, that's high praise. I love TMS, so I would check it out. But BJ Bovey in the YouTube chat, one of our mods, one of our good friends, says Digimon Survive has been a development hell type game. Well, knowing that, then my prediction would be no. I would say
probably not. Yeah. I don't really follow Digimon either. My wife always talks about how growing up she preferred Digimon over Pokemon, to which I'm just aghast. I'm like, how could you say that? But I mean, there are, she's a dyed-in-the-wool Digimon fan. So
anime-wise, I agree.
That's fair. That's fair.
That first season of Digimon,
specifically in the anime, yeah.
Holy crap, it gets really good.
So I wouldn't expect to see any information about Digimon Survive. Hopefully, it's still coming though for you and the rest of the Digimon fans who've been waiting so patiently. Now that was going to serve as the perfect transition to our next news story, but we did get two more super chats in the meantime. So Jaden Buck with $2 more, thank you so much, asking, where did you get the soap, Derek? Meaning, I guess the game cartridge soap.
I don't know. I got it as a gift from a friend a decade ago. Okay, and I have no idea where he got it. I guess you just have to search for it, but I have no idea where it actually comes from.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much, Jaden. And Jake Greer with a $5 Australian donation saying $5 for one damp Derek. I think that's a fair exchange rate. I love it.
That sounds like an accurate exchange rate, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, thank you so much, everybody, for the donation. But going back to, I'm sorry, it was...
Well, I'm an idiot. Thank God my phone's waterproof. It's been in my pocket this entire time.
Oh, man, I'm so glad your phone's okay. I can't imagine your phone just being fried on screen.
I'm not dumb enough to have my phone in my pocket, am I?
Oh, my God. It's been there the whole time?
The whole time. Whole time.
Shit.
That's an ad for Apple.
It works.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, hey, glad your phone's okay, man. All right, going back to Alex's donation, asking about Bandai Namco. Our next story has to do with Bandai Namco, so let's go ahead and get that right up on screen. And I'm so potentially excited about this. So, the house that Pac-Man built recently filed trademarks for Ridge Racer, Rave Racer, Ace Driver, and Victory Lap. Now, I know what everyone's saying. Somebody's pointed out to me on Twitter, like I haven't been doing this for years and years, that trademark filings don't necessarily lead to anything. I know that, but just let a man hope. Let a man dream. I got a giant Ridge Racer-shaped hole in my heart, and it's been there for a decade now. please let these trademark filings mean that something is happening on the Ridge Racer front, and not a mobile game. Not a mobile game. That's all I got to say. I know I'm the big.
For Klonoa Encore.
Exactly, and that's the thing. How long ago now did they file that Klonoa Encore trademark? It's been.
I want to say 2 years. Maybe
it's been maybe like between a year or two. It's been way too long, is all I know, and that hasn't turned out to be anything so far. So it may never, and this may never. But I just want to believe that there's a chance this means Bandai Namco has not forgotten about Ridge Racer and Rave Racer and the rest, and that maybe. Even if it's just ports of old games, I'll take that. Ridge Racer, arcade racers are an underserved genre these days. I love my arcade racers. There needs to be more of them. Ridge Racer was always my favorite arcade racing series alongside Outrun. We haven't gotten a new Outrun in who knows how long either. Just give me an arcade racer, Bandai Namco, please. I'll throw money at you for it. I just want one. Neither of you really play a lot of Ridge Racer like I did. Right?
I've actually never played Ridge Racer.
Oh, okay.
It was. I just never tried it. I mean, after you espoused how wonderful it is, if we do get a new one, I'll check it out. But I don't. That's about all I got for you.
Right.
Yeah.
There's just. Yeah.
I've played Ridge Racer. Like I got Ridge Racer for the 3DS when it came out. I've played it in a few other platforms. I did not know that Rave Racer was a thing. I had to look that up while we were talking.
Yeah, what is that?
It's like the PC version of Ridge Racer, essentially, right? Just with a different name, and then it only had 2 courses that were not in other Ridge Racer games, and those eventually got moved over to Ridge Racer. Thanks, Rave Racer Wiki, for telling me that. But
because I know I played Rave Racer at some point, but I wasn't. I'm more like a hardcore dyed in the wool Ridge Racer fan, so I wasn't quite sure of the relationship between the two. So that's good to know.
Yeah, they seem like just very similar games, which cool, I guess. I mean, I'd be happy for any older Bandai Namco games to come back, because I feel like we talked about this in a previous episode, but they do a lot of licensed games these days, and that feels like most of their output. That being said, Scarlet Nexus is coming out from Bandai Namco pretty soon. That looks actually really cool. I've played the demo. It seems fun.
I still need to try it.
The demo.
I gotta say, it's so interesting. I think it is good. It maybe just I bounced off it personally, because I can't say that what I played was bad, but I unfortunately did try the demo on PS5, and I just didn't do much for me. I just kind of bounced right off it. Yeah. Interesting. But clearly the polish is there. I just think for me it just wasn't quite gelling with me. But clearly, what's there is a quality game so far.
Yeah, I think that I'm interested to check out the full game whenever we can get our hands on that. Speaking of which, Bandai Namco, let you know about that later. But yeah, there's I think, though, I want them to dig deep into their back catalog. Ridge Racer would be a great start for me. I'm fully on board with you on team bring Klonoa back, though. I need... Klonoa is such a charming-ass platformer, and the fact that we don't have one on any platform, even, like, fucking mobile, is sad. Like, I would play a Klonoa game, basically, at this point, wherever the hell they put it. Just give me a damn Klonoa game, even if it's a re-release of an old one. I just want to play Klonoa again. But...
Right.
What can you
Agreed.
do? I mean, I especially the second game, because the first game at least got a remake, and it's a pretty decent remake, even if it isn't as good as the original. But Klonoa 2 isn't really available on anything, as far as I'm aware, other than PlayStation 2. And it's such a good game. Oh my god, what a game!
Oh, it's amazing. But interesting thing connected to this that Yamatsu reported on is that apparently Koei Tecmo recently filed trademarks for Monster Rancher in the U.S.
Man,
interesting.
I saw that. How is that going to work? Like, the appeal of Monster Hunt or Monster Rancher was putting just random CDs into your PlayStation and seeing what monsters.
Which was cool at the time. I kind of like the idea of that. Even as I never played the series, but it's like, that's cool. Put your CDs, and when you got to the PlayStation 2, you could put your DVDs in and see what monsters you get. Was it set, or was that just random? I have no idea.
Because I remember my brother, like, keeping a log. Like, he'd be like, oh, this Snoop Dogg album got me this monster. And I'm like, I don't think it works that way. I bet if you put it in again. But I honestly just can't remember who won that argument back in the day. So if any of y'all in the chat know if Monster Rancher gave you random monsters no matter what you put in there, that would help me settle a decades-old argument.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Bandai Namco has such a rich stable of IPs that they mostly seem to have let fall to the wayside, as you said, Steve, in favor of more licensed games. And it's not as though their licensed games are bad, but God, I love their original IPs so much. And I'm not even talking about just Klonoa and Ridge Racer. I mean, Katamari, man, Ace Combat. Although we did get Ace Combat 7 fairly recently, so that's maybe a different story. But
world.
Right. And Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 is still somewhat recent.
We got
which is a
re-releases
fantastic
of
game.
Katamari on the Switch, too, though a new one would be...
The first one, right? Yeah, a new Katamari would be really nice. Yeah, and I guess bringing things back to Ridge Racer and these other series here that I had trademarks filed for, arcade racers in general, as I said, are so underserved in the modern gaming age. And there's just something, Gran Turismo, great. What am I thinking? I can't think of the Xbox racing series, like Forza. Great games. Yeah. But Gran Turismo is more of a driving sim, right? And Forza's it straddles that line between sim and arcade racer. All great games, but there's just something about drifting at 400 miles per hour around a hairpin turn while you've got the Bandai Namco sound team's electronic music pumping in your ears. People like Keiki Kobayashi and Shinji Hosoe, and it's just Hiroshi Okubo. They're so good, and it's a very specific flavor of arcade racing that I miss, and I could go on forever about it, but hopefully this turns into something. I would really, really like that, obviously. But so I don't just go on about Ridge Racer all day. We do have a couple of super chats before we get on to our next news story. The first one comes from Treasure Box Reviews, $10 US. Thank you so much, saying a tip for the drip.
Oh my God.
Nice. That's all I got.
Man. That's a lot, but thank you so much. A tip for the drip. That is fantastic. Thank you, Treasure Box Reviews. Also, $2 more from Skull Kid Tiger. Thank you so much. Saying, when wet, Yoshi brand on Amazon, waterproof case. So, well, Derek doesn't really need a waterproof case because we found out apparently that his phone is entirely waterproof.
My phone's working just fine.
That's amazing.
Hashtag sponsored.
That is incredible to me that it's. I mean, I know Apple advertises their latest iPhones as being waterproof.
I mean, that's
but just
essentially why they got rid of
the
headphone port.
Right.
To make it fully waterproof. So I guess it worked.
Thank you again, Skull Kid Tiger. And finally, we have a $4.99 donation from Sketcha MPM saying, I want Klonoa or We Love Katamari remake. The second Katamari is regarded as the best in the franchise. Do it, Namco. Yeah, I loved We Love Katamari as well. That's a great game. Probably, the best in the franchise. I think that's probably true, although I did like Forever on PS3 as well, although I know that was kind of a mashup of the various games. So, yeah, more Katamari in general, more Klonoa in general, please, Bandai Namco. Thank you so much, Sketcha MPM. And we also just got a new super chat coming in, again from A Drink to the Past, $2 more, saying towards Derek's new phone, switch to Android. Well, the whole point is his phone's fine. That's the amazing thing, is that his phone's fine. I
love that name, though. A Drink to the Past is...
Oh, I know.
Good. Such a good name. I love it.
It just reminds me of the old days, the old flip phones when you accidentally took your phone and had your phone in your pocket and you went into the ocean at the beach. And the method when you got back was, I think you had to put it in, what was it? You put it in, you had to submerge it in something. Was it sand or it's something? Rice. You submerge your phone in rice and that would draw out the water.
I'm not going to lie.
I've done that before for older phones. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you had your phone in your pocket and you were going to the restroom and it fell in the toilet, which I've only ever heard one person tell me that story in my life, and I was like, there's no way other people do that. I had a friend.
It's probably more common than you think.
I mean, but how does it get out of your pocket and into the toilet? What are you doing on the... on your way to the toilet, that your phone can come out and fall in the bowl.
Maybe they had their phone out while they were at the toilet or something.
I asked that question. Yeah. My friend was very specific about the fact that it was in his pocket and would routinely, because this happened to him 3 times over the tenure of our friendship. But he would claim that he would be sitting on the toilet, going to sit on the toilet, and it would slide out of his pocket into the toilet. And I'm like, what weird posture are you in as you're getting on the toilet to sit down that your pants are high up enough on your body still to where it can slip out of your pocket and fall into the toilet. Like, are you jumping? Are you like leapfrogging over the back of the toilet onto it? I don't understand. Yeah. But I was glad to hear that you talked about the ocean. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Also, no, I mean, with the $1.99 donation, yes, we did get Jake Greer's donation. $1 Aussie dollar or $5 Aussie dollars for one.
Yes.
Derrick or whatever. Yeah, we did that.
for one damp Derrick.
Damn Derrick.
I think damn Derricks are priceless, personally.
Yeah.
Straight Lace in our live audience chat brings up a great point, though. The question now becomes, does the charging port still work? And I would add on to that and just say, Derrick, when you do go to charge it, just do everything you can to make sure it's as dry as possible. I'm sure it's fine.
I don't actually use the charging port too often. I have one of those. You just put it on the
wireless chargers. Those are super cool. I love those. Yeah. It amazes me that such incredible little pieces of tech can be fully waterproof now. Like Apple, Android, doesn't matter. They're all amazing machines, and the fact that they are also waterproof. I mean, I'm showing my age by saying how amazing that is, but it just is to me. But with that said, we have a few more news stories to get through, and this next one is just absolutely fucking wonderful, and I love this. Let's get this up on screen. I'm so happy about this. So, as we all know, the review embargo dropped recently for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and following that, and the game getting a bunch of good scores, high scores, positive reviews, a couple of the dev team's members posted on Twitter saying they didn't have to crunch even once during development, and that they worked 40-hour weeks the whole way through. And a quote from one of the tweets is, "It's possible to work on a great game without suffering." And that comes from Grant Parker on Twitter. And the whole tweet is, "I'd appreciate people sharing this positive because it's important. Ratchet PS5 is at 89 average score, and I can't speak for anyone on the team but myself, but I didn't crunch once. 40-hour weeks the whole time." And then, of course, the quote, "It is possible to work on a great game without suffering." That was also followed up by another dev team member, Lindsay Thompson, who said, "I didn't crunch once. Entire production. A couple of late nights here and there finishing something up, but completely crunch-free. It is possible. Team wellness lets the creativity flow." And they both add they are only speaking for themselves, so they can't speak for the entire team. But this bodes really well. And as far as I know, nobody has come out and arguing this and saying, no, I did have to crunch. And of course, if they do, we'll talk about that. But thus far, this seems to have been a completely crunch-free development cycle on a AAA game, y'all. That proves it's possible. Naughty Dog, we're looking at you. If Insomniac can do it, given their incredible output, I think anybody should be able to do that. Dev wellness should always come first.
This is a big point for Insomniac, because they did go through some heavy crunch in the past games, especially if you look at the production of both Going Commando and Up Your Arsenal back in the day, and they saw how much they just were crunching and really going way too hard and really almost killing themselves over things. And they learned a lot in those lessons. And they had this very popular series, and they wanted to get game after game after game out. And they were still great games. It was amazing stuff. But they did crunch through them quite a bit. So the fact that they were able to make this game, this absolutely gorgeous game with so many neat ideas and features, is incredible, and I am very happy for them. Insomniac has always been one of my favorite developers, mainly because of the Ratchet & Clank series. I enjoyed Spyro, I enjoyed Resistance. Basically everything they put out, I really enjoy. So they've just become one of my favorite developers, and to see them have developed into such a good corporate culture over the years is a major relief. I think they've done some amazing work, and if we can normalize this and just let it happen, we'll be in good shape. Now, hopefully, it's getting good reviews. I'm really hoping this is the game that breaks Ratchet & Clank through, because it's always done well. Obviously, they've gotten sequels and they've sold incredibly well, but they've never been in the conversation for too long. They've always sort of been like, good game, but nobody really talks about it. Nobody really looks at it. I'm hoping with Rift Apart that finally changes and we get some real conversation about Ratchet & Clank and people discovering just how great the series is. And so we can get more. I want more.
Yeah. I gotta say, I want to make 2 points on this one. The first point that I want to make is that this looks good for Insomniac, of course, but it also looks really good for Sony. I mean, Sony are definitely, bankrolling this whole thing, and they definitely have the ability to say, hey, work harder, get it out faster, do what you have to do to make that happen. And I'm not saying that Insomniac would not push back at all, but I am saying that Sony could have applied an unreasonable amount of pressure and said, hey, we want this game for launch. Right. We want you to get Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank ready for day one. And the fact that clearly that was never the intention, right? It's not like Ratchet and Clank was a launch game that got delayed. It was just always planned for this time frame, speaks to the fact that Sony allowed them to have such a healthy work-life balance while working on probably the biggest PS5 game of the year, assuming that Horizon slips, because I just have a feeling it will. But
yeah, same.
It kind of worked out for Sony because they had a nice big game at the beginning, that launch between Demon's Souls and Spider-Man, and now come summer they have Ratchet and Clank as a big, almost like the showstopper.
Oh yeah,
that really shows what PS5 can do.
Yeah.
Well, speaking to that point, go ahead, Steve.
Sorry, the second point I wanted to make was that I absolutely think that this is going to be like a huge game. Derek, you know that I'm not what you would call a Ratchet and Clank fan, or at least I wasn't until a few days ago.
I don't think you've played any games before this, have you?
I've dabbled. Like I've picked them up and I've started some. I've never finished any. But this game grabbed a hold of me. Like, I'm not doing the review, but I
got to keep my opinions to myself for the most part. You can.
Yeah, I was
as much as you want.
I was just like, I'm going to play this game a little bit, see what it's all about, see how hard it pushes the PS5. And then next thing I knew, I'm like staying up late at night, getting up early in the morning. Like I was not rushing to get through this game for coverage. It was just because I couldn't put it down. I fucking love this game. It is my favorite awesome. PS5 game. And I right now, as it stands, it is absolutely my game of the year. Hands down, 100%. Wow. If I was to rate it, and I'll tell you what, it probably would be our first perfect score. It is that damn good of a game. It is.
I can't wait to play it.
It'll actually be our first one because Kalen, who reviewed
Like a Dragon,
true. gave that game a pure bliss.
It's
fair,
deserving.
But it'll be the first one for us.
Yes,
I feel like Ash would probably give it a pure bliss.
I feel like
think so?
I am hard pressed to think of someone who would not, and like normally when I go into a game and I think about it critically, I'm like, who could I think of that would not like this game? And I'm like, I don't know that I know of a person that loves games that would not like this game. And that is
so.
And in the patron chat, the Blaystar asked, "Is this a good jumping on point?" And I think Steve can answer that probably better because I've played a bunch. And the best I can say, it refers to things that happened in before, but you don't need to know them. That you got the essentials that you need to know.
And contextually, it does a great job of letting you know that that's what it's doing. Like I never felt like I missed a beat when they saw a character that was clearly part of the lore from previous games, but like shown in a different light. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but if they show a character out of context, and I always picked it up. I'm like, oh, okay, that must be someone that longtime fans would know. But it was never like core to the story or in a way that like, as somebody who just started playing Ratchet and Clank and getting through it, I never felt like, damn, I wish I'd played the previous game so I understood this. There's nothing like that. They do a really great job introducing you to characters in a way that kind of fills you in on who they are and how they fit, if they're important or core to the story. For side characters, it's more like, oh, hey, we know you, but you're a little bit off, and they, eventually even that gets fully kind of revealed to you as you get further into the game. But
I'm so excited.
Shit, it is mechanically... it is visually, it is from a directorial perspective, just a fucking masterpiece of a game. Like, there is nothing in this game that I was like, well, Like, it's the first game where I'm just like, no notes. Great job. I've got nothing for you. So I wish I could levy a criticism at it, but
I won't say that for me. But this is me coming as a hardcore fan.
Right. All I know is I can't wait to play this because, as I've said, I've been doing a Ratchet 2016 playthrough in preparation for this. So when we talk about it, I have a touchstone, and I played a little bit of Tools of Destruction, but it was a long time ago. And I know that the fan base doesn't really like 2016, but I'm still having a good time with it, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful with the PS5 performance patch. So I'm sitting over here thinking, if I'm having as good a time as I am with Ratchet PS4, the one nobody seems to like, and I can definitely tell the writing's really weak, being tied to the movie. The writing's not good at all, really. But if I'm having as good a time with that game as I am, I feel like I'm getting set to be blown away by Rift Apart, and I'm so excited.
I expected a good game, and I got something far better than that.
Nice.
Also, Jet Set's hoping for a good amount of Quark. I'll say this right now, don't, because Jim Ward, who voices Quark, got sick and was unable to return for the character.
Oh,
so they
bummer.
limited how much he appears, and he does have a different voice actor. So it doesn't feel
That's
like
too bad.
Quark. And that's
a shame.
But because Quark is usually one of the best parts of these games, just through his humor alone. But yeah, you're not going to get Quark. If you are interested in getting the story to lead up to Rift Apart, basically the games you just need to play are Tools of Destruction, maybe Quest for Booty just to get a little in between. It's a short game; it's not exactly necessary. Crack in Time and into the Nexus. Those will get you the story beats that you need for this game. And the thing I'm very curious about, because I've been doing that streaming series of me playing through all the Ratchet and Clank games in preparation and celebration of Rift Apart, is getting back to Crack in Time, because that is my favorite to this point. And it's been too long since I played it to remember exactly how it went and exactly, I know it's great. There's no doubt about it. But how's it compared to Rift Apart? And I'll say that Rift Apart is up to that level of Crack in Time.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to bring things back to Insomniac. Birche, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Birche373 in our patron chat makes a great point, saying, and you kind of touched on this, Steve. The amazing thing about this is that they've had several projects in the PS5 already: Spider-Man Remastered, Spider-Man Miles Morales, a 60 FPS update for Ratchet 2016, and now Rift Apart. So it makes the no crunch thing even more amazing. And I have to agree. And this is proof positive that the AAA-est of AAA game productions don't require crunch. It's proof positive, and I really, really hope that this has a ripple effect across other developers. Not just, and I didn't mean to single out Naughty Dog. That was just a recent example with The Last of Us Part 2. But, Rockstar is another good example for, I didn't mean to single them out. But yeah, I just hope it has a ripple effect on other developers and Cyberpunk. I mean, look what we got with Cyberpunk, and that was the result of a lot of crunch. And of course, every development situation is different. Every development has its own story, but yeah, and actually, Helen, hey, it's Dingo in the chat says crunch also gets you Cyberpunk. So there you go. Anyway, hats off to Insomniac, and I just hope that this has a healing effect on the crunch culture and other developers. So just all sorts of good vibes all around for this story. Before we move on, we do have a few super chats that came in. First is Style Boys with $5 Canadian saying, "Hey GVG, just got home. Glad I got to see Derrick in the bath and hope you're doing better." Thank you so much, Style Boys. And Derrick, you are feeling better, yeah?
Yes, I am feeling better. I crunched, and I was punished for it.
There you go. Thank you so much, Style Boys. We also have $2 from BlazeStar25. Thought of this earlier. Zelda, a loofah to the bath.
It's good.
I love it. That's good. Thank you so much, BlazeStar. And finally, another $1.99 donation from Claxton saying, "No crunch, no capping." Yeah, and no crunch indeed. And as I said, this is all just good news. And by the way, I want to make it clear, I have nothing against crunch bars. Crunch bars are delicious. But when I made the thumb today, I was like, when I was making the thumb, I'm like, how do I communicate no crunch? Oh, crunch bar, no sign. There you go. But I love crunch bars. We all love crunch bars. We're not actually
Captain Crunch as well.
I could have done that too, but Captain Crunch is also equally delicious as well. So it's pure sugar, but it's really good stuff. All right. Well, let's go. Let's move on from a game I know we all are really excited about to a game that I don't know if any of us are really excited about, but there's some interesting stuff to talk about either way. So let's get that up on screen. So, Battlefield 2042 was revealed today, and there are plenty of things that hardcore Battlefield fans have to be excited about here that I would not necessarily know what they mean. Like from Nibel on Twitter saying Conquest and Breakthrough return, 128 players on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S versus 64 players on PS4 and Xbox One. 7 massive maps, dynamic events and storms, seasoned with battle passes out on October 22nd. But here's the really interesting thing that I thought, and that is that there's no campaign. There is no single-player mode in this game. Instead, they are leaning more heavily, well, fully actually, into the game's multiplayer, and there's going to be an evolving narrative, or like a narrative in the multiplayer mode that evolves over seasons of content, which is an interesting approach. I don't know what it is that Battlefield fans particularly want, because I'm not one myself, but I can see this being pretty controversial, I guess, because no single-player campaign to me is kind of a shame. But again, I'm not the audience for this, so
they've kind of stepped away from the narrative, like heavy narrative in this traditional sense, ever since Battlefield Bad Company 2, which honestly is the only Battlefield I've played and really enjoy. I love Bad Company 2. Played that with friends a ton. The way that buildings could fall apart was great. Like the fact that, oh, there's a dude hiding behind cover in that building on the second floor. Cool, let me get my rocket launcher and just kill them anyway, because of the things just breaking apart. There was just something naturally fun about it. And I went to play Battlefield 3 afterwards. It's like, well, maybe I can still enjoy it. And I did not get into Battlefield 3 at all. So I've sort of stayed away ever since Bad Company 2. I'm interested because it has those aspects that I did like about Bad Company 2. Apparently the storms sound interesting. The maps look pretty interesting. They had that whole flying section, I guess. And I don't know. There was a bit of dumb fun that you can have with this that I just don't have with like Call of Duty and the other military shooters. For whatever reason, Battlefield was the one that kind of got to me. I don't know if I'll pick it up or anything like that, just because I don't have time to play online multiplayer a ton. But it's something I'll keep an ear out for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, multiplayer shooters are not really my thing. I tried Battlefield 5, and that was basically an exercise in seeing how quickly I could get shot in the head. I'm straight up just terrible at these games.
Same.
I see people have fun with them, and I'm always like, man, I wish I could do that, but I'll be honest, I just don't have the patience to invest the time to become skilled enough to feel like it's worth my time to play it. That being said, I do believe it was Battlefield that introduced me to the concept of the loop zook. Have any of you heard of a loop zook?
Loop zook? No. What is that?
It is this incredible stunt where you're in a plane, you do a loop, you bail out at the top of the loop, you whip out a bazooka, you shoot another plane, and then you land back in your plane at the end of the loop. Which, I mean, if I did that, I would just flip my PC over and be like, I'm done. I've won everything.
I mean, that's pretty much, you're not going to get cooler than that.
I've seen that. There's some cool things you can pull off in this game. And I always felt like a badass when somebody's in a tank and I'm taking them on and like still like ducking and weaving around them and actually take out the tank on foot. I'm like, I can do it. It does have those like pumped up modes. Like they're like the big memory. I think I've talked about this before. Is my friends and I would pass the controller. We didn't play multiplayer together. We'd sit on the couch and pass the controller and do multiplayer matches one by one. And like there'd be these goals that you'd have to unlock further things, or I think. And one of them was like get 5 knife kills in a match. And so we just spent each of us trying but also trying to get the knife kill. And I was the one who finally did it. And I felt like a freaking Rambo almost, because I was just going knife, 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 knife. Got like 7 kills. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's as someone who does like playing through the odd, like shooter campaign. For someone like me, who's not the core audience here, this feels like a loss. But I imagine if you're really into the multiplayer element specifically, maybe this doesn't bother you as much. But I certainly, as Steve said, I'm so bad at multiplayer shooters, and but sometimes I will like to just kind of, play a Call of Duty game, single player campaign on the lowest difficulty setting and just watch a bunch of stuff explode. That can be fun. Just run through the campaign, very low effort, and that's not something that this particular game is going to cater to. But if they know their audience, then doesn't necessarily need to. And their Nibel does follow this up on Twitter with a quote talking about kind of their thinking behind this. And this is design director, Battlefield 2042 design director Daniel Berlin saying, "I think that's just something that enables us to really lean into what we're best at. If you look at the DNA of the studio, what we've been doing for so long, we just said, you know what, we're not going to have a traditional single-player campaign this time around, but we're going to put all that emphasis and all those resources into building depth into the multiplayer, because that is what we do best. And hey, if you know what you do best, and you know that's what your audience wants from you, far be it for me to criticize you for that, even if it's not, what I would want." So yeah, I wish them all the best. I'm very curious to see how the narrative thing works out, because they say they're going to weave a narrative into this. I don't even know how you do that, but I'm kind of curious to see how that shakes out.
I feel like that's always half-hearted. Like you're never... Yeah. It's like at the beginning of a match, someone's like, "Hitler's here, shoot him." And then that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As Moon Knight pointed out before, like $70 for only multiplayer is a tough sell.
Yeah.
Depending on the type of player.
But if you have EA's subscription, then you're just paying the monthly fee, I guess. I don't know. I feel like maybe a lot of these...
Is it coming to series? Is it coming to Game Pass?
That's a good question. Well, EA has
Game
their
Pass,
own...
There you go.
If EA has... What is theirs? EA Play? Or EA something?
Isn't that part of
It is part of Game Pass now, which seems weird.
So,
but
theoretically...
But that's assuming EA puts this game on their service, which I don't know that they will.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. I mean, $70 for multiplayer does seem pretty steep for me, but again, I say that as someone for whom I'm not the audience. So I guess if you're really into Battlefield and you're really into Battlefield multiplayer, maybe that's okay. It's hard for me to put myself in those shoes, because I really just don't know. But I do wish them all the luck and success with the game's development, and hopefully they're leaning into multiplayer works out for them. I always want people to succeed rather than not. So hopefully that's how this goes. Before we move on to our final news story, I have a $10 donation from Diamond Death saying, "Congrats on all the success on the show so far. Derek, nice bath setup. Chug that tea." The tea, right? Steve, stop cursing. Dude, I'm just as guilty of cursing as Steve is. We both cuss like a sailor, which is ironic since Derek is the actual sailor today. And then Ash, say something as Shinobi and check your DMs. Everyone, any new show ideas? So a little background here. I've been doing I was doing a small part in Diamond Death's project as a character named Shinobi, and it's been a while since I've had time to really get around to do anything with it because of GVG and TNT and trying to find work. So Shinobi is a character in that who, if I recall correctly, kind of sounds like Shadow, kind of like this. And where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? I tried to think of something, but yeah. So I think that's what that is. If I remember correctly, I apologize, Diamond Death, if that wasn't perfectly on point. Everyone, any new show ideas? Well, we just debuted one. Derek just did with Recollection.
Yeah, we have Recollection. I need to find time to sit down and record with me getting sick. That's another thing. The delay. I got to sit down and get another one of those recorded. So it'll be there. Just
weekly discussions. So that, of course, is not a show idea.
And we have more ideas. We just need to actually...
A couple ideas waiting in the wings. We don't want to tease anything that we're not prepared to deliver on yet.
Yeah, and E3 is kind of going to be keeping us busy because isn't the Summer Games Fest premiering tomorrow? Like, we're probably reacting to that.
Probably.
Yeah, so Summer Games Fest is tomorrow. That kind of kicks off E3 season officially. That's tomorrow at 11. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be live reacting to that. It is on our E3 calendar internally that we just recently built. So certainly look forward to that and join us for that tomorrow at 11 a.m. I think. And we'll see what Jeff Keighley has, all the world premieres that he
He
may
said there's
have
30 games there.
Yeah,
So
we might have to dust off the world premiere counter. Maybe not the drinking part of it because it's 11 a.m.
Hey, it's 5 p.m. somewhere, man.
Yeah, it's 2 p.m. for me, so there you go.
There we go. Derrick can drink more of his tea.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, before we move on, thank you again, by the way, Diamond Death, for the donation. And yes, I will get back to you in the DMs. I've just been super busy with the channel. Kirby Catcher with a $4.99 donation saying, Derrick, please use this money to buy a bath ducky. I mean, I can vouch for the keyboard, having bath duckies. Yeah,
I didn't want to steal Ash's idea of the bath
keyboard.
ducky.
Damn it. I'm good on my keyboard, damn it. I will defend my internal keyboard to the death. I love it. But I can.
I should point out another thing I have here that I never showed off that Amy has. Hold on, let me shift it a bit.
Make sure your computer doesn't fall.
Got the salt, I don't know what these called, but Amy has them. They light up and
that's cool.
Glow things. I don't know, but Amy has them, and
they're neat.
Even more
that whole
effect.
Is so it's just so chill. I love it. Like I want to take a bath in that bath. I mean, it's just awesome.
There we go. That is a very uncomfortable episode. Ash and Derrick in the same bathtub.
I mean,
I didn't say he needed to be in there with me, but he can be.
The two of us can sit like this, put it farther back. The two of us could comfortably fit in here. 3 of us might be able to fit in here.
One of us will just be crammed up in that windowsill like this.
I'm loving it. Sounds like we're all going to be bath buddies in Derrick and Amy's bathtub.
Amy came in to say it's a Himalayan salt lamp. I had to get it.
Very cool. Okay. Man, well, this just went way beyond damp Derrick, yeah.
The light heats up the ball so you can actually massage yourself with it. So if I want to, I can have a nice little massage.
Man, this is getting spicy.
It's becoming an episode of Cribs over here.
All right. Well, it is already 5:35, so we should go ahead and move on to this last news story. And this is a follow-up to a really good vibes news story that we reported on Friday. So let's get that up on screen. And I am so happy to report that the Itch.io game bundle for Palestinian aid has already met and exceeded its initial $500,000 goal. And it set a new goal of $1 million now because it's doing so well. And it's attracted so much attention that a wave of high-profile indie games like Celeste and Baba Is You are going to be added to the bundle soon as well. And
that's awesome.
I just love this. This was barely at $80,000 when we initially reported on it out of its $500,000 goal. And I'm looking at it now, and we are now at $580,000.
Oh my
$224. God. Yeah, $580,224 out of the new $1 million goal. And again, this is hosted by indie game creator Taiba Y. And all credit to you, Taiba Y, for putting this together. It has content from 864 creators, and for a minimum donation of $5, you can get over 1,000 DRM-free indie games. And soon that's going to include high-profile ones like Celeste again. So this is incredible, an incredible bundle for an incredible cause. I don't have too much to say about this other than good fucking vibes, y'all. I'm so happy this is a thing and that it's so successful.
Yeah.
That's really all it comes down to. Jeez.
I mean, I love to see indie devs do stuff like this. I'd love to see AAA devs or platform holders do something like this. But you take what you can get. I'm so happy to see that, this is still bringing in tons of money. Folks are donating to a good cause and getting a bunch of kick-ass games in the process. So it's a win-win.
Indeed.
Yes,
and just for
still going.
Excuse me.
It's still going for 2 more days. And for everybody in our YouTube chat, I am pasting the link in there right now. So if you're interested in donating, it is a $5 minimum donation, but it's going to a great cause. And again, you get over 1,000 games. I mean, you're going to find something you want to play in that 1,000 games. So check it out. Let's see if we can help them reach that $1 million goal. But just the fact that they so quickly broke through their initial $500,000 goal is just fantastic. And couldn't be happier for Taiba Y, and just prouder that the indie gaming community is coming together for such a fantastic cause. So let's see. We have a couple of more super chats here.
Real quick before the super chats, Amy has supplied me with a rubber ducky of my own, and it lights up when it gets into the water. See?
Amazing.
Oh, come on.
Well, it's not in the
on everyone.
Now. Yeah, I know, right? That's way better than my 3 rubber duckies I got from CVS before the before my bad stream.
Maybe he's just out to outdo all of you, apparently.
Really? No, that's amazing, man.
Amy's just happy she gets to show off her tub.
Nice. Well, that just sounds like a recipe for future tub streams by you, Derrick. So she can just show it off to more and more people as we grow.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. We got to get more, I guess. We'll have to take a break because of E3 week coming up and all that, but I guess these aren't impossible to do in the future.
Listen, I'm not saying Kitty Kongfax is in the audience right now, but if they are, show it off to more people as we grow is a perfect out of context quote.
Oh, man, it really is. I didn't even think about that. But
that GVG out of context made sure to hide my Game Gear in my hand when he did that quote. We that out of context.
That was one of the context. Yeah, that was one of the best out of context quotes in GVG's entire history thus far. That was amazing. Yeah. No, that was really good.
I don't want to take away from the super chats.
Thank you so much for that. But yes, so we do have 2 more super chats. $5 from Master of Hamsters saying, "Hey Ash, someone mentioned that today is Rockman Day, and I found out that tomorrow is Lan and MegaMan.exe's birthday. Well, thank you for the reminder. I as much as I obviously am a hardcore Mega Man fan, I do not have Lan and MegaMan.exe's birthday memorized. So thank you for that reminder. That's awesome.
Amazing that they have the same birthday.
Well, there are story reasons for that. But they're kind of spoilery. I don't want to, just in case anyone out there is, in fact, playing through the Battle Network series right now, that there are reasons, plot-related reasons for that.
Or plan to.
Yeah, or plan to, exactly, with the, hopefully, Capcom upcoming Battle Network collection. Hopefully, please.
Yeah, obviously.
Anyway, thank you so much, Master of Hamsters, and happy Rockman Day. Finally, another $10 donation from Diamond Death saying, follow-up, Shinobi is a major character. Yes, Shinobi is a major character. I should have mentioned that. Production is slow, so you're still good for now. Oh, any interest on GVG expanding to include comic strips? I did those GX fan ones back in the day. We haven't really talked. We're all just busy kind of keeping the channel going between the Patreon and everything, so we haven't really talked about comic strips, but it's not something we're not interested in, I would imagine. Right, guys?
Yeah. Hey, yes, Lady Pelvic is here.
Hey, wow. Lady Pelvic, how's it going?
Oh.
Just in time.
I go out of my way to show up Wednesday because of this silly tub thing. You missed a lot of the things we showed off because I got Amy's Bell teapot. We got rubber ducky.
I love it.
We got video game shaped soap. It's all kinds of stuff. And of course, the hat.
Of course, the sailor hat. Yeah. Well, yeah. But since you showed up, Lady Pelvic, we do obviously have to show those off again. And Derrick's setup is definitely, we have agreed, the best bass setup of us 3. But
I don't know why he doesn't just stream from there full time. I'm just saying.
Because this is really uncomfortable after a while. I'm getting so stiff.
No shit, man. Yeah, I hear you.
I'm trying to shift as much as I can, but I am like,
Yeah,
we appreciate you shifting because we do get a little sneak peek of some leg action there once in a while when you shift.
Oh,
so
I have
we
to.
all appreciate
I have to.
Yeah.
I am dying.
Nice. But thank you again, Diamond Death. And like I said, I don't think there's not interest in GVG comic strips. We just haven't really talked about it because we're just so busy keeping the channel running. So, but yeah, it's not something that I think we would turn down necessarily. So, something we should chat about. With that said, that brings us to the end of the news. It's funny, even though it was almost 5:45, it feels like it's... thank you.
Jaden Buck with one last-minute donation.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Jaden Buck with a $5 donation saying, have you guys thought about hiring an editor for your videos? That way, all you have to focus on is script writing and recording. Yes, we have, and the straight-up truth is we can't afford to hire anyone right now, and we don't want anyone to work for free, period. We are never going to ask people to work for free. Especially, given where we, our past. So that's just not what we're about. And if we had the money, we would. We would love to be able to hire an editor or a few full-time editors. Believe me, I think I speak for all 3 of us when I say that would be the dream. But we just don't make enough money to hire anybody right now.
Yeah, we're still not paying ourselves fully, so...
Yeah, we're not even making anywhere close to full-time, money with GVG, and we want to get to that point. But to get to that point, you just got to get there, and then we can start thinking about hiring people. But we're just not there yet.
Yeah. Finally, real quick, I'll field this last one if you don't mind, Ash. Diamond Death with a final $5 donation says, last minute, how to contact you guys individually for podcast guest appearances. I believe our emails are all in our Twitter bios. So I know mine is. But either way,
mine used to be.
If you're a patron, you're in our Discord, you can DM us on Discord. It sounds like you know Ash's contact information. Or you can just email goodvibes@good-vibes-gaming.com for all business inquiries. Which I should probably put on our YouTube page.
Not a bad idea. But yes, thank you all so much again for all the donations. And yeah, again, Jaden, one of these days when we're bigger and have more money coming in, we would love to hire a bespoke editor, but we're just not there yet. So for now, we got to do it all ourselves. With that said, that does bring us to the end of today's episode. And like I said, even though it's 5:45, it feels like things flew by. I know not for you, Derek, because I know you're sore. So let me go ahead and get through this outro. All right. Well, as always, we have to give a special thank you to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for making today's News Tonight happen, because without you, it would not be happening. And we love being here with you 3 days a week, inside the bath or outside of the bath. Doesn't matter. We love being here with you 3 days a week, doing this, talking about the news, chatting with our patrons. You guys are awesome. But of course, a extra mega special thank you to all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those awesome folks include Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Etiono Ben, Dan and Twistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, It's ATM, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Aiko Carroll, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kitty Kong Faxed, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotik, 112, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Emerald, Azran127, Ken Rule09, Pagrima, Jake Pelka, Geller, Shiny Turkey, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Charlie Bird, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Oram M, Sakuragi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzywig Hoyd, Critmonger, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Deaneth, Kota, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Hoobie, Wolfx Blake, Moon Macarons, Ascaron 809, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 minutes and 60 seconds, Christopher Masterson, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, Rosa Pardo Bowling.
Hi, Mom.
Kotar Peck, Scuff 196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Darik, Jeff Ed, Ray Clausen Jr., Nathan the Voice Actor, Mega Conrad, and finally, Hulkamaniac 55. Thank you all so much for your incredible support of our channel, of the show. We love you all so much. And if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, you can check out everything we offer over on patreon.com/gvgaming, where we have recently refreshed all of our tiers, added new perks to plenty of our existing tiers, added a new tier. There's a lot of cool stuff going on our Patreon right now. Our most popular tier is our $5 live audience tier, which enables folks to interact with us and our special guests live 3 times a week during today's News Tonight, as you have seen in our Patreon chat in the stream window. So we offer that and so many more perks over on Patreon. But even if you can't support us on Patreon and all you can do is support us here on YouTube, we love you all the same. If you could like, subscribe, ring that bell, like the video, every single little bit helps us. We really appreciate you. We love you all. And remember that today's News Tonight is also on every major podcast service around the world now. So if you prefer, consuming our content in an audio-only format, TNT is available on your favorite podcast service. But with that said, we are at the end here, so we will see you on Friday for the next episode of today's News Tonight. Until then, everybody, good night and good vibes.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.